Hey guys, welcome back to today's episode of Jafo Plays. We are playing through Mansions of Madness. I don't remember what mission we're playing. The very first one, Cycle of Eternity or something like that. Things are going sort of okay.
We haven't died yet.
True, we have not died yet.
So it's good. So we're good right now.
I'm slowly going insane. You're doing okay over there. So we have been sent to the Vanderbilt estate to find out about missing peoples. We were called by this man, Eugene, the butler. As we arrived in the entry hallway, we were greeted with some clattering and noise in this room here, which we went into this room and found this creepy snake-looking thing. And, yeah. So, we begin. Mind if I just take a good old whack with a 2x4 against his face?
Ahead.
So I'm going to fight him. So we're going to go to our monster drawer and bring up our monster. We're going to hit attack. And we're going to use a heavy weapon. Your missed swing slams into the ground, sending a shock up your arms. You struggle to keep a good grip on your weapon. Willpower, I need one success. I technically do not get it because I'm dazed and I can't spend clue tokens. If you fail, the shock is too much and you lose hold of your weapon, drop your weapon. Well, that sucks.
Well, I guess you know what? You're spending your next action.
Yeah, punching him unarmedly. Fear rises inside you and you react almost without thought and swinging and striking with animalistic desperation. Strength 2. I have a strength of 4, so I need 2 hits to succeed. That's a cocked die. Unfortunately, I can't spend that. So I hit 1, so I don't. If I fail, the creature barely seems to acknowledge my attack. Had I passed, I could have made him suffer damage equal to my test result plus 1. So I could have made him 5 damage, which would have killed him. Your turn. So I want to move in.
And I'm going to attack. I got a bladed weapon.
Under the beast's onslaught, you figure that if you can avoid its attacks long enough, you will eventually make a mistake. Oh, sorry, it will eventually make a mistake that opens up into your own. Opens it up to your own attack. Make an agility 2.
I got an agility of 3.
You need 2 hits. Oh, and I do get rid of dazed.
I only got
1. If you fail, you grow tired as the beast continues to attack, and when opening finally comes, you lack the reflexes to take advantage of it. So you got bored, old lady, from him fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. This is like those Pokemon games when we're like sick and tired of Pokemon Go and they don't want to stop attacking and kill us.
Well, that was my turn.
Awesome. I believe we're done then.
Yeah.
We can end our investigator phase.
This goes really quickly when there's 2 people. And you get 2 actions.
The clues you have gathered disprove everything you once knew about the world. This mythos event affects the investigator with the most clues.
I got a big fat 0.
That would be me then. You review your notes, attempting to reconcile new information with the world you remember. Make a lore 2. So I have 2 dice and need to hit both of these. I do not. If you fail, you discard your entire previous world view, suffer 1 face-down horror, and discard 2 clue tokens. So I discard 1. The hunting horror moves towards the investigator in range with the lowest agility. I have agility 4.
I got a 3.
You're getting attacked. Creature flies past with its maddening swiftness. Suffer 2 damage with an agility test to escape. Suffer 2 damage. And it moves 2 spaces towards the entry hole.
Great.
Each investigator must resolve a horror check. We do need to check line of sight. So lose the game. Yeah, that's probably something we're gonna have to learn about real quick. Line of sight. No. How about doors? Do doors lock? Doors are spaces represented edges between a gap and wall. Each door represents two spaces that share door adjacent. Doors separate. Investigators and monsters can move through a door unless it's blocked. A wall on a map tile is covered. Okay, so it doesn't say horror check maybe? Let's check horror check. Horror step. During the horror step, each investigator resolves a horror check against a monster within range by selecting the monster from the monster app. How do we know if there's a monster within range? Oh, horror check. Resolves a horror check against a monster within range. How do you know if it's in range?
Maybe range on a...
Well, let's see. During the horror step, each investigator resolves a horror check against the monster within range by selecting the monster from the monster drawer and resolving its effects. Multiple monsters that resolves horror against only monster with the highest horror rating if no within range. All in... Okay, let's check range. See if range is a keyword that we need to learn. Range. The range of effects using the frame within range is up to 3 spaces away. Range cannot be counted through walls or doors unless an effect specifically allows it. Range can be counted through impassable borders. So the door closed behind him, and we do not have to take it.
Sweet.
If I understand that. Cannot be counted through walls or doors unless an effect specifically allows it. So we'll have to recheck horror. Range can be counted through impassable borders. The horror step. The horror step is the third and final step that is resolved during the mythos phase. During the horror step, each investigator resolves a horror check against a monster within range by selecting a monster. Let's see. Horror checks determine the monster. Investigator must resolve a horror check against only the monster with the range with the highest blue value rating, its horror rating. Yeah, so an impassable border are space edges represented by dashed white lines or yellow lines.
Like this one.
Yep. Which means there's something blocking that way.
Yeah, on that one.
So there we go. All right, so we're good. We do not have to take a horror check if I'm right. If I'm reading that right. If we are wrong and you guys are familiar with this game, please let us know in the comments down below, and we will catch it up for future events.
Like it is with all of our other games.
Pretty much.
If you know this and we're getting something wrong, just let us know.
So, well, we no longer have a hunting horror we have to deal with at the moment.
That's good.
I'm going to take a trade phase, pick this up. And I'm going to interact with this clue token. A china cabinet has been repurposed to store all manner of knickknacks. I would like to search it, yes. The cabinet holds candles, wooden statuettes, stones, beads, and other random objects. You must try to discern what they are used for. Son of a bitch, I'm not that smart. I can make that a success. No, I can't. Yes, I can. I can become unfocused. So I can get 2 successes. As you dig through the objects, you begin to form a hunch of what makes you uneasy. You have heard of objects such as these found on the site of a cult. All right, that's starting to get a little loud.
Once again.
You have heard of objects such as these found at the site of occult rituals. They could prove useful to your investigation. Gain the circumstantial evidence unique item and 1 clue token. Then discard this search token. So I get a clue token.
You at least got a clue token. That's always good.
Circumstantial evidence? Yes. So we gain circumstantial evidence. Just a bit more, and this case is closed. It's an evidence card. So if I remember right from playing this previously with other friends, it's pieces we need to the puzzles.
So it was a good thing that you checked that.
Pretty much. And it's to you.
Well, I am going to use Flesh Ward on myself.
Okay.
You or another investigator within range discard 1 damage.
Alright.
Then flip this card. Every hair on your body stands on end. Lore 3.
Well then. You got 5 dice. You need to make 3 of those hits. Or none
Nope.
of those hits.
If you fail, shouting and flailing, you abruptly lash out. Flip 1 damage face up. Then discard this card and gain another flesh. Minor injury. Only a flesh wound. Resolve immediately. No additional effect. Flip this card face down. Goes there. I get another one of those. That wasn't too bad. And what? I have another.
Still have 1 more action. There's nothing preventing you from walking across that, from what I can tell. I just think it's supposed to be that there's pretty much a door there or a wall there.
Well, yeah, because that was the window that he crawled through. And go into there.
All right. Then you're done. We end our turn. So we got a swinging snake creature running around. That can't be good. Whispered voices drift down the halls. Their chanting becomes louder and louder. Agatha Crane covers her ears and starts banging her head against the wall to get the voices out. Agatha Crane suffers 1 damage, 1 horror, willpower to negate. Yes, she does. Take that damage right back. And a brain leaking. Because, well, you're not supposed to whack your head against the wall. The hunting horror moves 3 spaces towards the investigator range with the lowest strength. 3. After swooping around your head in bewildering patterns, the creature lashes out with a series of stinger-tipped tails. Suffer 3 face-down damage. Agility +1 to negate.
So, at base 3.
You get +1.
One more.
If you were focused, that would be great. Okay, this gives you 1, 2, 3. What does that do for you?
Well, that puts me to 6.
Okay. Let us look up what happens when you're wounded.
6 of my 5.
Hold on. Traded unit roll. How about dying? Is dying a keyword?
Death, possibly.
Damage. There we go.
Oh, that would help. Hey, look, I also become stunned.
Oh, okay, so when it instructs to flip 1 or more damage or horror face up, you do select at random. Each damage or horror has 1 of 2 traits, resolve immediately or keep face up. Investors cannot look at the face down. Let's see. If an investigator has suffered damage, whether face up or face down, equal to or exceeding his health, the investigator becomes wounded. When an investigator becomes wounded, he gains wounded condition. We want you to not have that.
Woohoo!
And discards all face down damage.
Well, that's at least nice. And
When a wounded investigator has suffered damage equal to or exceeding his health, they're now considered eliminated. And when you're eliminated, we're boned. Okay.
do I also become stunned since I took?
If you suffer 1 or more damage, become dazed. If you become stunned. Oh my god. I gotta see. Maybe I should.
But since I am wounded, I cannot move twice.
You cannot move twice in a turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cannot take a move action more than once.
Okay.
Which isn't too bad.
Suffers. Okay, I'm an effect causes an investigator to suffer damage in excess of his health. He suffers all damage from that excess before becoming wounded. So you could have taken 100 damage there. You're doing fine. I think you're still dazed and stunned. So, allow me to give you those.
Sweet! I get 1 action next turn.
Well, you may get less than that. Resolve a horror check. The creature latches on to its surroundings, tearing them apart. Make a willpower 3.
I got 2.
You do not have enough. If you fail, you lose your nerve and scream, drawing the beast's attention. Suffer 2 horror.
I'm fine.
I was looking at this. I could have swore I was told that damage is given to you face down. Here it says, all damage are claimed face up, unless the effect is causing the damage or horror specifies otherwise. But that doesn't make any sense, because if you do that, you would never flip stuff face down. So I'm thinking it's supposed to be face down. And
probably something written wrong in the book. Reasons why they made this. Because this is easy to update.
You know what? I think, just to be safe, screw it. I'll take a horror check. Vanishes from sight. You look around anxiously until a heavy drop of greenish-gray fluid drips onto my shoulder. I look up to see the beast preparing for another meal. That would be me. Suffer 2 horror. I do get to take an observation +1 test to negate. That gives me 5 dice. Because I look at him through my magnifying glass.
This is why you needed the magnifying glass.
I survive. I take 3 successes, which blocks 3 of the 2 horror. Yeah, I said that right. All right, so now we're done. All right, we need to murder this thing. This thing's pissing me off. Go get him.
Yay! Attack with a bladed weapon.
The beast hurls its limbs towards you, and you slash at them as they pass. Agility, needing 2 hits.
Nope.
If you fail, you are caught off guard by the creature's speed, and it takes all your determination just to dodge out of its reach. Oh, you can only take
I can take 1 action because I'm stunned. But now I'm not dazed or stunned anymore.
Don't! I tell you guys, we film this stuff like really early in the mornings. I think it's because we film this shit really early in the morning.
Compared to when we were filming this stuff at night, where we were like really good with our dice.
Heavy weapon! As the creature rears up, you brace your weapon. Strength, needing 2 hits. I got strength of 4. 2 hits. If you pass, the creature's own bulk drives your weapon deep into its flesh. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus my test result. 2 plus 2. Not quite dead yet, but we're getting there. Unfortunately, our turn is over. The lights dim and flicker, then the walls begin to glow, and the wallpaper catches fire. Place fire in Preston Fairmont's space. Son of a bitch, that's my space.
That's our space.
So let's quick look that up, because that's going to be bad. Fire! Fire is a feature that is harmful to investigators and monsters. Whenever an investigator moves into a space containing fire, suffer a face-down damage. An investigator in a space containing fire performs an action other than a move action. If there is fire in a space, suffer face-down damage. When an investigator forfeits an action in a space containing fire, he suffers one face-down damage. As an action, an investigator may attempt to extinguish the flames by testing his agility. For each success result, you may discard 1 fire from your space or a space he moves into later during the round. When a monster starts its activation in a space containing fire or moves into a space containing fire, it suffers 1 damage. He's going to burn himself. As long as he doesn't, like, run away.
No, because I thought it was as soon as he starts his turn.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Sweet!
well, at least he dies.
Oh, shit. A robed figure bursts into the entrance and yells, "There is someone here!" You hear a muffled response from another part of their stage. "Get rid of them!" Spawn a cultist as indicated here.
He proceeds to fall off.
You pulled him off the base.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, we have a cultist. Uh-oh, that can't be good. We've come here looking for missing people and there's cultists to be found. Hey look, the hunting horror takes a point of damage. So, hunting horror, dead. The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Then attacks the investigator with the lowest strength. There are none in his space.
No, I don't want to get attacked.
The creature lurches to the ground dead. Hearing the monster's final fate, the old man in the kitchen cautiously steps out next to a cultist.
Oh, okay.
Each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating. After all horror checks have been resolved, tap the end phase button to continue. I guess 1, 2, 1, 2.
Wait, I thought he was gone.
No. You had to kill the snake to get him to come out. This was in resolve to the snake.
Oh.
The snake leaving. I'll go first. The cultist whispers a message that only you can hear. Your friends seek to slay you.
No,
Willpower 1. I will pass that. If I pass, you ignore the lies. If I fail, I would have turned to my nearby friends. Turn against my nearby friends, suffering 1 horror. Then each investigator in my space suffers a face-down damage. Luckily, I said he was full of shit.
It's fine, I can heal that off myself.
The cultist slams a steel-shod staff into the ground, and the ground splits open. A great eye bulges up from the opening, then shifts its gaze upon you. Suffer 1 horror, using your willpower to negate it.
I'm good.
Then flip 1 of your horrors face up.
Absolute terror. The only thing louder than your pounding heart is your desperate, ragged breathing. Resolve immediately. Suffer 1 additional face-down horror, and flip this card face down.
You insane yet?
No, I'm at 6 out of 9.
Okay.
I will go and shuffle these since I got a lot.
Alright, I will go first. Let me double check the fire rules one more time. Fire, as an action, investigator can attempt to extinguish the flames by testing his agility. For each success, I may discard a fire from my space or a space he moves into later during the round. At the beginning of each mythos phase, the fire will spread. Okay, so I'm going to test agility and put that fire out for you. And I can get that fire out. Bam. And then I'm in this room. I'm taking this, whatever this is. The refrigerator has been left cracked open and leaking a pool of water onto the floor. I will search it. You pull open the heavy refrigerator door. Inside, you see a mass of pallid flesh, slick and fragrant with the stink of the ocean. It has the shape of a tube, but surmounted by many writhing tentacles. Its eyes are fixed and dead, staring and seeing too much. You push aside the raw squid and find something useful. Gain the bandages common item, then discard the search token.
Gross.
So we get rid of this, and I get some bandages right next to...
Well, that's at least a decent
Yeah,
thing.
discard up to 2 face-down damage.
Where was that before?
In the refrigerator. If you would have just went into the refrigerator, you would have gotten some bandages. But no. That's cool. Your play. I made it so you don't start on fire, by the way.
Well, I'm going to spend one of my actions to feed the mind and become focused.
Do you want to be focused?
Yes.
Sounds good. What happens?
You feel your mind expanding as the universe spins around you. Lower 2. I got it. I at least passed this time. If you pass, you are able to reconcile your new sense of the cosmos with your existing paradigm. No additional effect. And if I failed...
Discard and draw... Well, no additional effect, but discard and draw a new card, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But I would have gained a face-down horror hit.
Wonderful. What else do you want to do?
I'm gonna move here.
Okay.
I will hide in the corner.
We really need to kill that cultist and then go talk to him. Fire has been extinguished.
You can go kill him.
Agatha Crane has lost her way, suddenly desperate for a familiar landmark or clue to her location. Agatha Crane suffers 2 face-down horror with observation to negate.
Got a 4 observation.
You got lost walking 1 step away from me?
3.
You're good.
Yay, I didn't fail this time.
The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator, then attacks the investigator in space with the lowest. So 1, 2. And he's going to attack me. Lurches forward and jabs me in the ribs, then swings the staff around to bludgeon my limbs. Suffer 2 damage, negated with strength.
This is why I went and hid in the corner, because I would have gotten attacked again.
Yeah, well, I suffer 2 damage.
I can heal those.
So can I. I got bandages. Squid bandages. I'm taking the horror test first. Cultist raises his hand, and one of your items transforms into a deadly viper. Observation 2. That puts me at observation of 4. I failed, so I fling the object away, dropping 1 random item in an adjacent space. Guess we'll just put this under there. And whenever you tell me to stop.
Stop.
So I lose those bandages I just found.
In an adjacent space.
As I fling them at you. Ah! Bandages. I don't want those.
What? That at least makes sense for it, like, looking like a viper.
I guess. The cultist exclaims the truth of a present and imminent horror. Suffer 2 face-down horror with a willpower +1 to negate. You can use your focused if you want.
Yeah, I might as well.
Focused will turn all 3 of those clue icons into hits.
Yeah, I might as well.
Just keep that nearby. I'm sure you're going to use it. So
Probably.
We're good there.
This is why I made myself focused.
Right? And that's the end of the Mythos phase, and that's going to be the end of today's episode. Thank you guys for coming and checking this out. I hope you guys are enjoying this content. We are horribly enjoying this. No, actually, no matter how bad we do in these games, we actually do really enjoy playing these games. It's fun. And, you know, figured it's October, it's time to start playing some horrific games. So if you'd like to see more of this content, make sure that you're subscribed, hit that notification button so you get notified every time we upload, which is every day pretty much. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.